Good evening, everyone. I'm Laura Ingraham. This is the Ingraham Angle from New York City on election eve. Donald Trump is about to take the stage for his final rally in Pennsylvania, his second to the last one of the entire campaign, and we're all over it. Plus, Donald Trump Jr. is here exclusively to tell us about his dad's final pitch to voters. But first, America's time for choosing. That's the focus of tonight's angle. All right, hours before the polls open, this long, very strange campaign is almost finished. Now, for many reasons, the Angle is feeling very positive tonight, and so should you. Now, even though I've known Donald Trump for, I cannot believe I'm saying this, 25 years, long before he ever got into politics, I don't believe I have ever admired him as much as I do right now. Now, what you've witnessed these past few years, you will never see again in American politics. Trump's level of sheer grit, energy, and endurance, and you bet his fighting spirit. Now, we all remember that fateful July day. With blood running down his face, he pumped his fist and shouted, "Fight, fight, fight," you know, on T-shirts and hats. But he said that not just because he wanted to show the country that he was okay, but because he wanted all of us to be okay, too, and to stay strong. And we will, because we have him fighting for us. Tonight, he'll promise us, as your president, I will fight for you every single day with every breath in my body. We just got the excerpts. And to think that Harris and Barack Obama routinely try to accuse him of only caring about himself. Now, America, we stand at a fork in the road. The choice we make tomorrow will have a profound effect on the future of our country. This isn't just any presidential election, no way. Other than perhaps Reagan versus Carter in 1980, this is the most important election of the last 50 years. And the choice is very simple. Peace and prosperity under Donald Trump, or war and decline under Kamala Harris. Now, I'm optimistic because this movement to reclaim America is growing by the day. You've seen it. We've witnessed it. The voters are informed, and they're voting.
We're moving forward by voting for Donald J. Trump to bring this economy back on track.
We are voting on policy and convictions that we ultimately hold deeply.
I think that his economic policy is very sound.
My biggest priority is my family. I have 3 children, and if our economy doesn't change, it's going to be a hard candy Christmas this year.
Hard candy Christmas. Now, the question is, does the government of the United States still belong to us? Or are we just supposed to sit down, shut up, and take orders from the government? So once every 4 years, the power brokers in D.C., they have to pay attention to you. So I suggest you make it matter. If enough voters turn out for Trump and support his political movement, then we can change everything. His economic policy will put working people first.
We will secure our borders, and we will also rescue our economy, because our economy is in a mess, and I've seen it for a long time. I'm very good at that stuff. 4 years of Kamala have delivered nothing but economic hell for American workers.
I think actually that could be an understatement. Now, we can have also a foreign policy that actually puts America's interest ahead of the international order.
We gave you the largest tax cuts in history, the largest regulation cuts in history, rebuilt our military, defeated ISIS, had no new wars. I will end the war in Ukraine, which would have never started if I was president. And I will stop the chaos in the Middle East.
Yes, an end to war. Wouldn't that be nice? We can have a country where Christians and other people of faith will not be considered enemies of the state.
We will get critical race theory and transgender insanity the hell out of our schools. And we will keep men out of women's sports.
My driver today, who's happened to be from Mauritania, actually brought that up to me. Didn't talk about the economy of the border. It was that issue. All right, well, right now, the swamp dwellers, I think they're trembling in Washington, D.C. The race is a toss-up, according to the polls. Who knows? It's anyone's guess. But it's all because of patriots across the United States who refuse to give up. They refuse to give in. Like Trump, it's fight, fight, fight. And this is why Harris's machine has done everything in its power over the past 4 months to scare you into accepting the status quo. So it's nonstop lying about Trump. That's why I call her Kamala now. And, of course, his supporters, they've been under fire as well. And it's been their strategy since 2015. Why do they do this? Well, they do this because they can't promise you or your children or your grandchildren that any of you are going to have a better future because, of course, they can't deliver on that promise. Because in Kamala's America tonight, young couples are struggling to buy homes. Food banks lines are growing in swing states like Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. And we certainly know they don't care about your safety. After all, Kamala's party allows violent migrants to roam free. But wait a second, at least the authorities keep us all safe from the real threats out there like Peanut the squirrel. Poor thing. Now, look, Harris's overlords know their policies are going to lead to a fundamentally weaker and less secure America, not just because of treasonous border policies, we know those, but because she's going to continue to spread us too thin until we no longer are a superpower, certainly not the one we once were. And as for that vicious lie that Trump never sacrificed for America, it just proves how empty and cynical the Harris campaign is. Not only were there 2 assassination attempts on his life, there are armies of prosecutors right now still trying to put him in jail. Bogus civil suits, 2 impeachment trials. Of course, his family has been threatened, staffers put in jail, because they want us to learn. They want to teach us a lesson. Don't resist the regime like he did, because if you do, the regime will come for you. They'll come for your family, your supporters, everything you ever worked for. But Trump willingly and boldly took on this challenge. He kept going. He never stopped. It is a time for choosing. With Trump, we return to having a vibrant, free, growing American system that puts us first. And with Harris, we stick with the status quo, with more decline, lower living standards, and more cultural despair. So tonight, more Americans are recognizing that Harris's campaign is overwhelmingly driven by hate, pessimism, and vengeance. She spent more time lying about Trump than showing us the way out of the mess she created. Meanwhile, the Trump agenda is full of love, hope, and optimism for the future. And in the end, love trumps hate, which should mean that tomorrow night, Trump trumps Harris. And that's The Angle.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.